Hello, dear one. So today I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind for quite a while and quite a lot as well. And it's the time that we are in that is such deep transformation and certain reminders that we can have to help us flow through this better. And I also have a couple of tips also to share to really keep tapping into our creative flow as we're going through these very deep transformational times that can be wrecking havoc in our lives, quite literally. So we just passed, I think, these deep changes and transformation and the deep tsunami of changes has really been coming through since the end of April, and since the spring and the summer we were able to witness so much changes, so much dramatic changes in all of us. So it's both an individual happening and it's both a collective happening as well. We see how much we are being struck by new things all the time, and it's taking a toll on us, and it's okay to say so. So, and now we just passed a full moon in Pisces that's really getting us deep into the soulfulness of what we are experiencing. And again, that was a deep, 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 very powerful full moon. So here we are talking about these transformational times that we're all going through as a collective and, just between individually as well. So, I took notes for this today, so please bear with me because these are, I think, very important and good to remember. So there are 4 reminders to keep in mind in these times that we're going through, and then I will share again those 5 tips. So I will say, just sharing my own experience of what this past year has been, just numerologically for myself, it was a year 9 in which I was just basically closing a cycle of healing. So it was honestly brutal. Okay, I was like, what is this BS coming in my face all the time, all year long? Things you think that you were done for a long time ago that just keeps coming again and again and again, and you're like, why? I thought I was done with this. Why is it here? And the purpose is just to really find those tools. So what I'm going to talk about today is just those things that I found so liberating and so much comfort in what I'm about to share with you today. So it's just like my past year that has been on a personal level really, really challenging and really transformative, of course. And now I'm starting a new cycle. It's a year 1 numerologically, which also has its own challenges. So it's always to keep reminding each other of what can help us go through these deep transformation, because again, you will hear me say this a lot, and you probably hear me say this a lot, but we are not doing this alone. We don't have to do it alone. We are here for one another. And so this is just the little wisdom I gathered during this last year that I'm here to share with you. And maybe it helps you, and I hope it does. So the first thing is just to not feel bad about finding this time shitty. It's okay that it feels shitty, that it feels hard, that it feels, that it drives your boat in a place you don't want to go. You're like, what is this BS again? And it's okay to feel that way. And I'm saying this because for myself, I prevented myself. I was almost saying no, I cannot, have a hard time. I cannot say that there's a hard time, not because I have a hard time finding a life is hard. It's not that. I was just thinking so much I cannot allow myself to feel that. But the truth is, yes, because the more resistant we have in our field, in our bodies, the more constricting is our energy. And everything that we're moving with is more constricted. So all my creative energy during this time of no, I don't even want to feel that it's hard, was already constricting and not working for me in the best way that it could. So just really embracing the fact that it is hard. Yeah, it's shitty. It's here. Okay, we can feel it. We can move through it. So the second thing that I would like to remind you is, let go of self-judgment. The best favor you can do for yourself is letting go of self-judgment. And you might feel it all. You might feel the anger of going through things that you might, you thought you were done with, or things that are coming up that you're like, where is this even coming from? Or the grief. There's a lot of grief in times of transformation, both collective and individual. We can feel it on the collective level as much as we can feel it in our own lives. And it's okay to feel this grief. It's okay to welcome it and say, I know I'm letting go of things that no longer serves me, but it's still okay that I feel sad about it, that it's still, feeling that yuckiness that it brings. And so allowing ourselves to move through these human emotions as we are, all this transformation always help us to uncover our God self. And so that's great. But there's the human part that is living a lot of emotion, and tending to that and allowing those things to come without any judgment is such a gift. Okay, so I'm just telling you, release all self-judgment is just, it's old paradigm, of course, right? We're moving into the new ones. Let's just move this away. The third one is really stop resisting the flow and the process of where it's taking us. And again, it's part of that judgment. So like, stop to judge ourselves, but stop to judge the process and how it's going, and allow ourselves to flow with it. And what does that look like? That can mean like, making time for yourself to rest more, possibly, or making time for yourself to actually allow yourself to fall apart or have a meltdown. That could be very, very healing and very, very helpful. So allow yourself to have this flow and how it makes you feel in the moment. There's nothing wrong with how you feel in the moment. And there's nothing wrong with the process and where it's taking you. Which brings me to the last point, as a reminder, is it's a time of shifting or being shifted. So if we don't say yes to the moment, well, the wave of the tsunami is going to take us anyway, and it will just be a lot more painful. So let's make it easier for ourselves. And again, saying yes to the moment and saying yes to what's around us, within us, is already allowing a lot more energy to flow around us, so that we can still be co-creators and co-creatrix in this process. Even though we feel it might not go, the way we would like it, it still is in another level that we might not be seeing in the moment. And saying yes to the moment helps us. Saying yes to the process, to whatever is there, helps us to open the energy so that we can still co-create with our dreams, with what we want to see coming through at the other end of this. And really letting go of everything else. So, which brings me to some tools that can help us do these things, right? It's like sort of like the reminders of what we should be seeing this time as, but then there are tools that really can help us do this, so that, does it mean to not have any self-judgment, Well, the first thing is really coming into self-love, unconditional love and acceptance of ourselves. So it could be an exercise you might do every day. Maybe it's twice a day, maybe in the morning, in the evening, maybe you need it 3 times a day, and just really connect with what's present for you in that moment. Oh, I feel sad. And because I feel sad, I actually feel angry. Like, what? And allowing yourself to feel that and not judging it. Accepting it fully. There's this human part that's just angry and sad that things are not going her way. I'm just going to be here and hold her. And this goes a long way. Just unconditional love and accepting of ourselves helps to bring this energy on the collective level for all of us. So you're working the collective at the same time. And always remember that whatever we are doing for ourselves, we're also doing for all our brothers and sisters, for Mother Earth that's also rising and ascending at the same time as us. So remember that whatever love you're giving yourself, any unconditional love and acceptance you're giving yourself, you're giving it to the world that desperately needs it in those times. And the second thing is patience. Just exercise patience. This is a time to master patience. Patience with yourself, again, in whatever might be coming up, in all the ways that you might be feeling or reacting of. Patience with the process. This is a process that we don't know how it's going to end, when it's going to end. Can we even see the light at the end of this tunnel? We don't know. We're just flowing, again, going back to that flowiness. So it's really a time to exercise patience, which can develop our resilience, our courage even more. Again, the transformation always has something good for us in it, right? We always know that, but it's a different thing to really actually practice it. So patience is one of those things that can really help us to as an exercise, as like a mindful thing to apply in our lives, can really bring forth so much more easefulness and flowiness as we move along this experience of being on the earth, playing at this time as a human. It's you're brave, okay? I just want to say you're brave. You're here at this time, incarnated on this planet at this time. You're brave. I'm telling you, brother, sister, okay? the other thing, it comes again, that trust in the process, releasing any expectation. So that's what it means. It's releasing the expectation of what I would like this moment to be right now, and trusting that on the other side of this, there will be something much brighter, much greater waiting for me. And that your higher self, like your soul, is always, always working in your highest interest. It's never bringing anything in your face or in your life as an experience to, it's just been having a good strike for a little while. I'm just gonna bring this mountain in her road right now and just mess things up a little. It's never like that. It's always for a purpose that we don't remember in our human consciousness, but that our soul and our higher self always is the driving force behind it all, and that it has a purpose. We might not see it. It's just to come back into this trust. And what does it mean to be in trust? It means, again, releasing those expectations of what it might be. And again, going back to that flowiness. I am saying yes to this moment. I am saying thank you to my higher self, to my soul, for bringing these things. So it's an exercise of gratitude at the same time, right? To be grateful for what's around us and what's unfolding, because we can feel it like bubbling under, like a volcano. Like, we don't know where it's taking us, but we know it's for our highest. And that is such beauty, and that is what love is in action, right? Both from the universe and both from our higher self and our soul. That is like, there's a great gift at the end of this. And just saying thank you right away and trusting in that can just, again, move the energy. So you are always in your rightful place as a co-creator or co-creatrix of your world, of your reality. And that is a huge, huge thing to hold on to, because at this time, at all times, we're not in control of much, ever. We might think we are. It's not true. We're not in control of much, but our mindset and how we can work our energy is where we have control. So always being able to flow our energy in the greatest harmony and balance possible is what we can do. And trusting that the effects we were going to see and going to reap all the benefits on the other side, wherever that other side is. Of course, it doesn't come all at once. We have bits and pieces here and there, but we are always transforming our reality, and we are in control of our reality in this way. So it's really important to take our power where it is. And we're not victims here, right? We all chose to be here for this, so there's a lot of power for us to regain. So let's just go and get it and use it. And okay, this is my favorite one. It's what I call get a higher consciousness hack. Okay, so that is a sort of modality. I don't know what it looks like for you. I can give you examples of what it looks like for me, but it's a modality that helps you to sort of like hijack your human parts to access your God self, to access your higher consciousness, so that you can, again, tap into that consciousness that is the universe and be in that flow with the universe as co-creator or co-creatrix. So for me, it looks like, I carry Sophia Christ consciousness codes. So for me to sing those codes in prayers, in my practices, really helps me to be in that space where I can always see the bigger picture, where the human drama is kind of like not so dramatic anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, I get it now. Like, yeah. Another way I do that is working in my Akashic records. So to tell you honestly, like this last month has been kind of difficult in my meditation practice. So I'm like, okay, that's where I use my hacks, because then I go there and then meditate. Because there's so much chatter from the human perspective. And it's just more frustrating to try and come in meditation and try to silence it in a way. So I just do my hacks, like, singing those codes before I come into my meditation, or I open my Akashic records. I work with the Akashic records, and one of the things I like to do is open my Akashic records and then meditate in that space. And I'm already kind of connected to like God consciousness there, to the God self. And so it's so much easier to download this sort of bliss and like, oh yeah, actually everything is perfectly fine everywhere. Like, it's amazing how we can change your perspective by going higher, like bird's eye view, right? We look at everything and we're like, oh, everything is actually great. And then like the human is like, what are you talking about? Everything is coming apart, And it's the kind of perspective we can have when we are going into a higher consciousness. The thing is, it might be harder, like if you're experiencing something like me, It might be harder to access through just your normal meditation. So finding some hacks for yourself can really help. It could be maybe a guided meditation. I have a lot of friends that love Joe Dispenza for that. With those kind of meditation, they just happen to feel right away, and they feel so much that greatness, like the energy just moves more quickly. It could be a sound bath, or really immersing yourself in nature, like taking a long walk in nature and then having quiet time in nature might be your way. So I don't know what is your higher consciousness hack, and if you don't know, that's a great thing to ask the universe and your higher self to bring forth to you. It will be revealed. You have to trust that too. So if you don't have a higher consciousness hack, you can just ask for it to be revealed. What is the thing that would work best for you to do this, and really be in that space where you can have that bird's eye view, that bigger picture, and be like, oh, of course it's easy to be in trust. Of course it's easy to surrender to the process and to that flow. I know who I am. Isn't that great? So this is really one to work on if you don't have it, and if you do have it, just use it. And the last one is an obvious one, but one that our ego sometimes have a lot of have a hard time doing, and it's really asking for help if we need it. Again, we are not meant to do this alone. None of us are. Like the self-made man or woman does not exist. There was always a collaboration somewhere with someone that came at the right time to offer the right direction or the right motivation or the right words, to inspire what needed to come through. So none of us are self-made. This is false. We are all building one another up. So asking for help, whether it's from a family member, a friend, a professional, a medical professional, I don't know what this is you need, but asking for help is already, it's just serving you in this moment, okay? Like, get what you need, ask for what you need. You're not meant to do it alone. It doesn't have to be that shitty. It can be hard and shitty, but you can also complain about it, and that's okay. And that sometimes just helps, to complain about it. So allow yourself to have the help of others, whatever that looks like for you. And be patient with that, and be loving with that part of you that needs that, because that's beautiful. And it's not disempowering, it's actually empowering, because you're asking for what you need. You're taking the step to go and get it. And that makes you stronger, because that's what relation does. That's what networking does. We are getting stronger together. Again, self-made doesn't exist. So this is a little general of what I wanted to share today. I suggest that we close with a transmission of some Sophia Christ consciousness codes to come through, to just help us together, wherever we're at, to have a bit of that bigger view, that comfort that comes from the universe, from the divine, from our own God self, that is always there, just driving order into this chaos, whether we see it or not. So just allow yourself to receive this for a moment. Quiero con amar oscurecer yo no viese azam o cario monda vez ustuge moades e carema ombayamos de viruseam o aqui aremasam e coria jayam esto tu pireser economera de sayam economera de sivam Ekorunateya sayovam Ekoronunachi esterum Nantabairo katia mero Seren there was a lot of flowiness and easefulness coming through these codes. So just allow them to sink into yourself, breathe them in, anchor them, just with your intention even, into your field as they support us all. So this is it for today, dear one. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing. This is, again, the work of the world, the work of the collective, and we do it together. Okay, much love and light to you. Bye.